What's up, guys? Welcome to the In the Galaxy podcast. It's me, Michael G. Ilkison, and I'm with my boy Jay Williams. What up?
Hey, what's going on, man? Looking forward to hearing your thoughts about Pharrell's Girl record.
Girl. Yes, absolutely. I can spell girl and my last name, and I did it once again. So, yeah, I'd like to throw in some background about Pharrell and
Yeah, tell me what's up
this
with
album.
Pharrell.
Pharrell, well, Jay-Z calls him for real because he's the truth. But I learned some things about Pharrell. When I picked out this album, I wanted to do it partially because Pharrell's a composer, and I knew that he composed the score to Despicable Me soundtrack with the help of Hans Zimmer. But what I didn't know after doing this was how much of a producer that he is.
Oh, yeah. That's what he's kind of pretty much famous for, really.
Yeah, I mean, just an early start. He got a he grew up in Virginia Beach with his childhood friend, Chad Hugo, and they started the Neptunes together. That kind of evolved into NERD, the band NERD.
Love NERD. Love them.
Which is Not Everybody Really Dies, I believe that stands for. Moving on, I just looked at all of his collaborations and awards, but like he was nominated for Best Original Song this year. He was nominated for Producer of the Year in 2013. 2007 was nominated for International Hip Hop / R&B Artist / Group of the Year. Just to go back old school, he was the producer of Nelly's Nellyville. He was the producer for Justin Timberlake's album Justified, which won Best Pop Vocal Album of the Year. And you can kind of tell that Pharrell has that feel of producing JT. He did the song Frontin' with Jay-Z. A little bit of a connection there. You know, maybe, I'm not sure if he tied Jay-Z and JT together, but hey. Beautiful with Snoop Dogg. Excuse Me Miss, Jay-Z again. Drop It Like It's Hot with Snoop Dogg. He produced Gwen Stefani's Holla Back Girl. Moneymaker with Ludacris. Also Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick Lamar. Not to mention working with, Get Lucky, Daft Punk, and T.I. and Robin Thicke with Blurred Lines. Something else I found was interesting about him was his personal life. Best dressed man in the world, according to Esquire. He's got his own record label called Star Track. He's a big Trekkie. He likes Carl Sagan. He likes skateboarding also. And
all right, they can read his Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Page
go to Wikipedia to read it. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I
get to see you're like, and he's we're just gonna scroll down here to the personal life section. Maybe go over here to critical reception and chart performance, and then maybe over here to track listing.
Man, I just learned so much about him, but enough about that. You've got the background. Jay, I want to hear what you thought about his new album.
Well, Pharrell Williams, who I share a last name with.
Are you guys related?
I just said no relation.
And you gave me the death stare if you're not watching the
I'm going to brush that
podcast.
off. So, yeah. Basically, as I mentioned just a second ago, I was pretty not super into NERD back in the day, but that song Lap Dance. I mean, that's a freaking incredible song. If anybody's ever heard it.
You can get this lap dance here for free.
Well, it's just, I mean, that song, it was so good. It had a little bit of a rock vibe to it. It had some sick guitars in it. I just liked it. It was just a different song. And for anybody out there, Pharrell Williams rapping is not a forefront of his game. I wouldn't really. I would say he's a producer first, producer first, considering this is actually his second solo album, and very talented producer. He has a very unique, very identifiable sound.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff you can listen to, and you could probably run through that list that Michael just read off of Wikipedia and say, oh yeah, I can see where that's a Pharrell Williams track.
Just a diverse range of musicians and artists.
Well, between him and what's that other fella that helped do
Timberland?
Yeah, him and Timbaland, they pretty much helped shape Justin Timberlake's sound.
All
of his records. So yeah, I was interested in jumping into this. And Michael, had you listened to this record before? It just came out, didn't it? Like really recently.
It came out in March. Came out early March, and yes, I had listened to it, and I was very impressed with it. But I listened to it again for this week.
Okay. Just to give kind of a general overview of the record, kind of how I feel about it. I hated this album.
Oh my God! What?
Hated this record.
What?
From start to finish, I despise everything about this record.
Oh my God! Okay. I'm gonna come out fighting before this record.
So first of all, probably the biggest problem I had with this whole album is that it is very, very one note. It like every song is like the same tempo, it's the same pace. Every song is like a dance track almost. It never changes. There's really not a, I mean, if there is a slow jam on here, it's like this is a slow jam, but it's also going to sound like everything else on this record. I do like one thing I liked about the record. It is very complexly produced, from the opening track, Marilyn Monroe. Strings, lots of strings going on, very orchestral type of feel to it. I like that it's complex. I like the idea that it's complex, but I think that the fact that it's complex is it's way too overbearing on the music. The actual beats that back everything up, they're really weak. They're really weak beats for me. Like they're just, to come off of
Kendrick Lamar.
Good Kid, Mad City, which is the boom, 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 relentless type of beats, just heavy, thick beats. That's the type of stuff that I like. And this was like some kid making a beat on his what are those xylophones that used to like little kids, the
bells,
no, like the ones when you were like in preschool, like the play school, play tool place. I don't remember what they're called, but
play school something.
Yeah, it just seemed like, I don't know. I wasn't feeling any of the beats. I didn't like that all the stuff, everything. I mean, every song just it just all had the same feel to it. And the other thing,
I will agree with you there. It does have the same feel, but I just tend to like that a lot. So
yeah, well, I can't listen to 46 minutes and 54 seconds of the exact same thing over and over and over again. And here's the other thing too. Pharrell Williams, his beats are great for rappers that are kind of coming and going in different places with the lyrics and this and that. His lyrics are just not good. I mean, lyrically, I'm not getting any sense of substance here. I'm not getting everything. I mean, what are these songs even about? There's a song about being happy, but that happy song is a pretty good song. But
yeah,
there's a song about being happy. There's a song about Marilyn Monroe, is it about Marilyn Monroe? Because Marilyn Monroe, that her whole story is pretty complex in general, and I'm not getting anything.
It's about a girl as hot as Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah,
a hot girl.
I'm not feeling it. The song Hunter, that song is terrible. The song Gush. Is that the one with
Gush?
The song with Miley Cyrus on it somewhere. Yeah, no, come get it, babe.
Come get it,
that
babe.
Song sucks. That song.
Oh my God.
I mean,
this is getting slammed harder than Jay-Z's album. You're just like, well, let me just not go ahead and run down the track list. This shit
no.
sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
What?
So the Justin Timberlake song, I liked it. The fact that Justin Timberlake was in it because it was somebody else other than Pharrell Williams. Here's the thing, man. Pharrell Williams, I like Pharrell Williams when he comes in like, on stuff like Senorita, on the Justin Timberlake album, his first album, Justified. I like when he comes in with that vocal every now and then to give it some accent, but here he just is not a good singer. He's just not a good singer at all.
Oh, is he not a good singer, or is it just too much of him all the time?
Both, because there's too much of his bad singing. And
well, I disagree. How is he a bad singer? I think he's an amazing singer.
Actually, there's two things. I have another bone to pick. Not just with him being a bad singer, but him being a kind of half-ass producing this record too. Because on the opening track, one of the very first things I picked up on is his use of auto-tune. If you're going to use auto-tune, I like auto-tune, and I will support auto-tune in two ways. One, if you use auto-tune as a aesthetic where it's very prominent, you can tell it's auto-tune in the way that Kanye West did on 808s and Heartbreak. I enjoy that. Or if you want to use auto-tune in a way to perfect what you do. But auto-tune, if you use auto-tune, you turn auto-tune on, it can be either really hardcore like 808s and Heartbreak, or the other side is used to smooth everything out. It's very smooth. So smooth you shouldn't even be able to tell it's on there. In the song Marilyn Monroe, he uses auto-tune to steady his voice. And it's not smoothed out at all. It's not massaged out at all. I can hear it. I can hear the auto-tune shaking. I can hear the auto-tune shaking in his voice. And I'm like,
no way.
God. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. I can hear that. Oh, I could hear it so plain as day, and it bothered me. And that just immediately from the first track, I was like, oh God, how are you going to be pulling this shit off? But
oh God, I mean, what an ear you have. That bothered me not at all.
His so you have his beats, his complex beats. I think he's a great producer on something like Justin Timberlake, and Justin Timberlake's voice is so dynamic. He can do anything with his voice.
Yeah, he's talented.
And you have Pharrell Williams, who he can't really, he can barely sing, let alone do anything at all with his voice. I'm just like, no. He can obviously sing. He can obviously carry a melody, but the melodies were all over the place. I felt like they were poorly written. And let's see, what else I have to say about this?
Wait, what about the tempo? I felt in some songs he messed with the tempo to like change it up in a bad way. I don't know if it was just my version of the record of where it like skipped a beat or something.
I can't really
catch that.
I can't really speak too much on that other than everything was just so overwhelmed by the idea of each song. Each song had this it was almost, I don't know. It seemed like, okay, imagine the scene in the movie when a guy opens the door to a party of like a 1960s dance club and everybody's going crazy. There's like an orchestra playing in the background. Everybody's dancing. Scene being played over for 46 minutes and 54 seconds. That's what it was like. It was like the same. And that's how I kind of view records. A record should have a place on it for those happy times and for those slow times. It should take you on a
journey.
On a journey. But this was the same thing over and over and over again. It just drove me crazy. I feel like there was one other thing I was going to say about this, but I can't remember exactly what it was. I wasn't feeling this record at all. I stick to producing Pharrell. I love you. God loves you. The people love you. But my musical ear does not love you. I give this record.
Give it. Give it. Lay it down, brother. Lay it down.
I don't I don't think I've ever given a record an F, but this is definitely. I'm not going to give this record an F, but it's definitely in the lower regions of a D, like a D.
Wow. What did you give Jay-Z's?
We'll see. Here's the thing about Jay-Z's record. At least Jay-Z's record had Magna Carta Holy Grail, or it had Holy Grail on it. The opening track with Justin Timberlake. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say. I'll get to it in a second, but at least that song had that song on it, and I would put that on a playlist and listen to it. I could listen to that song, listen to that song over and over again. There is nothing. The only thing I would listen to from this record would be the sound of it hitting my garbage can.
Oh my god, dude!
I just did not like this record at all. Yeah,
not even the happy song.
Not really. No, the happy song to me sounded like a Adele B-side. That's what it sounded. That song sounded like. I mean, the music of it I liked and I could get behind. If it wasn't, mishmash directly in the middle, track 5 of 10, directly in the middle of the rest of it was an old piece of ham stuck between two moldy loaves of bread. I mean, that's pretty much how I feel about it. But the last thing I was going to say, all of these songs, because Pharrell has had such a big part to play in Jay-Z's not Jay-Z, but Justin Timberlake's, all of his last 3 records, Suit and Tie, the Love, Sex, whatever. And
Sex, Love Sounds?
Yeah.
Love Noise? I don't know.
Yeah, and Justified. All these songs sound like they should have been on the Justin Timberlake records, but Justin Timberlake's only on one of these songs. And I really just did not like this album. So, but thank you for recommending. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for allowing me to hate what you picked.
I feel like we were giving too many positive ratings to our album, so this one definitely gave me a chance to change it up. But
well, I'm gonna come back.
Tell us what you thought about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back swinging because I freaking love this album. I agree with what you say about okay, it's not a Kendrick Lamar that's taking you on a journey and narrative, but it's just got a lot of happy, pun intended, happy songs on there, upbeat, and it's like fucking Michael Jackson Prince style, dude. It's like so Michael Jackson influence. Justin Timberlake people have said, he reminds me a lot of Michael Jackson. That's what this
Pharrell's not Michael Jackson.
Yes, he is not.
Justin Timberlake can be Michael Jackson, but Pharrell is not Michael Jackson. Sorry.
Vocally, I agree.
Yeah.
Musically, no. Musically,
yes.
Pharrell.
I understand what you're saying. Yes.
So, Marilyn Monroe. Classic music intro. I thought that was very original, classical music, and that was arranged by Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer did the strings at the beginning. I was very impressed with that. I thought it had a fat beat. I did write in my notes that it has a Justin Timberlake song feel, which makes sense since he was the producer. He even throws a kazoo and an oboe in there at one point. And I love the syncopated high-pitched guitar of it's just like all the songs got that like that. I just really liked the feel to it. And also Kelly Osbourne is in the background. She does background vocals for the Marilyn Monroe song. Just an FYI. I like
Kelly Osbourne. I mean, come on. It's pretty much like who do we have laying out in the gutter?
Oh my god!
And let's open the door to the studio. Oh, you hobo! Oh, it's Kelly Osbourne.
Oh my god! Well, regardless, this song was great. It had Hans Zimmer in it. It had kazoos and oboes. It was original. I think it kicked off very well.
In other words, Michael loves the soundtrack to a circus. It's just amazing. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Dude, I didn't jump in on yours.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm done.
All right, so the next song, brand new. I have great beat. I love the beat. I love that Prince Michael Jackson feel to it. Michael Jackson like guitar. Oh, it's got some clapping in it. that adds to the texture. I really like the clapping, how it adds to the texture. Horns. It's got horns in there. Horns in there that also give it a Michael Jackson feel. It's simple, happy, feel-good lyrics, man. That's what I like about it. It's just simple, happy, feel-good lyrics. Just having a good time. I really like that. All right, the song Hunter. I wrote, I love this beat for Hunter. And with that said, like lyrically, it's not Kendrick Lamar. Duck Dynasty is cool and all, but I'm a hunter.
Hunter.
I'm a hunter. Duck Dynasty is cool and all. Okay, if you're quoting Duck Dynasty, I think too much of the kids movie has rubbed off on him. But I mean, I love this song. It's got a fat, funky bass line groove. It's got a nice little bongo in the background where you could just picture Matthew McConaughey naked playing it, like he did that one time when he got really messed up. But now he's thinking of himself as a hero in the future. That's another thing. I liked it. I liked the bongo. I did note there was something weird with like tempo changes and pauses. I couldn't quite put my finger on what that was. But I like the song Hunter. I just think it's a fun, feel-good song. The song Gush, fat bass line. Love the chord progression there. It messes with tempo changes a little bit. I love the chord progression. Pharrell is not only, you said he's a producer first. I don't know about that. I think he's a composer. I really do think he's a composer. I think it speaks multitudes that Hans Zimmer agreed to work with him on his album and put in some strings and things like that. Because him and Hans Zimmer worked closely together for the Despicable Me soundtrack. And I think that's very respectable for Pharrell to stretch himself as an artist like that, to come from a genre of hip-hop, R&B, rap to bring something new to the table here, even though it's got a Michael Jackson feel to it. This song, I love that it's a sexual song, and like he's just talking about sex. That's what it's about. But he's got a lyric that says, "My mama didn't raise me that way," and then 2 lines later he says, "I want to light that ass on fire." Like, it's just really crazy, but I liked it. It's fun. It's feel good music. I really enjoyed it myself. And it's got a classical music break. Like, I'm a classical music junkie. I love classical music. Mixed in with some techno-like words. Oh, and they do this transition there in the middle that's like a finger snap. It's just like, it transitions from one thing to another, and they use finger snapping. I think that's extremely clever as a producer, just to go back and say, you know what, I'm going to use some clapping in here to transition it, or some snapping. I really thought that was cool that he did that. Happy, what you were saying is the piece of ham in the middle of moldy bread. All right. And that Pharrell is not doing anything new and innovative and interesting.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say it wasn't doing anything new.
No. You said it was a one note. This is a one note album.
Yeah.
Okay. Bone picking time. Pharrell made a 24-hour music video to this song. 24 hours of Happy. It's up on YouTube. It's just got people dancing the whole time, and then when it's done, it like goes up into the sky, and then it transitions into the song again. Toon, toon, toon. It might sound crazy what I'm about to say. I'm off pitch there a lot. It's terrible, but you get the point. According to Jay, with Pharrell using auto-tune, which I didn't have the ear to catch that. I think he's got a great voice. But he did a 24-hour music video with that. I thought that was really cool. The 24 hours of Happy. It's up on YouTube. Check it out. I think it's really cool. Come Get It, Bae. Miley Cyrus is in on this song. I like this because Miley's got a lot of crap recently for, well, but I don't even have to
mention
that
ass.
Yeah. And people have just, and I think people have been way too mean to her, just like saying really hurtful things.
Lay off Miley.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah. We've all been 20 years old and we've made mistakes, and we got to live a little.
Boss shaked our ass.
We've all shaked our ass. We've all regretted it. But then we've realized, you know what? I'm going to shake it proudly. What I noted about this song was Miley's part is short and classy in this. Short and classy. Pharrell just peppers her in, just like, oh, I got Miley Cyrus on a track.
Hit
It's
record, heard her sing, and turned it off. All right, we're done.
no, that'll be good, Miley. That'll be good. I love the guitar part in it. I just really enjoyed it. It's got that wow chicka wow wow type of syncopation feel. Gust of Wind. This song has a disco feel to it, as Jay is yawning after me listening to me talk about an album that he hates. This is a disco song. It uses violin chord progressions, and they collaborate with Daft Punk. If you don't like that, if that's not different, if that's one note from Justin Timberlake to Miley Cyrus, then I don't know what more he could do. I would suggest that you listen to this album again, or actually just a few select songs. I would suggest picking your few favorites and then listening to them dispersed in other music that you like. Because after listening to it one time, it is a bit much, but you will notice differences, like subtle differences and cool things like this, like Gust of Wind, disco in the song, violin chord progression, and they have Daft Punk in there. And like that's really not one note, but I could see how you would get that way with listening to this for the first time.
I listened to it all week.
How many times did you listen to it?
About 4 times.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So
well, I mean, no, I mean that's what you were saying with the whole Daft Punk thing. I mean,
in disco and
well, I mean I kind of got that disco vibe from a lot of the songs on the record, but I mean Daft Punk they've collaborated with Kanye in the past too, and a number of people. I mean, I just think adding electronic elements to it on top of everything else, it was just the fact that every song, like they were all had the same vibe. Like I would have like I said, I would have liked to have heard like a ballad thrown in there somewhere. I would have liked to have heard like just a straight up like just funky hip hop beat, just like straight up hip hop beat thrown in there. None of the violins and all that stuff. Like I think all that stuff's great, but just let's hear what else you got in your arsenal. We know you have a big bag of tricks to choose from, but you don't have to use everything in the bag. Continue.
Interesting analogy. Yeah. I'll address that with Lost Queen. Okay. It's got some African singing in the background, which I think is very cool. I think it's very original, very cool. This song runs for just under 8 minutes. Did you notice the ocean waves in the middle of it? It's got like ocean waves that just kind of like all you hear is ocean waves, and then it kind of transitions into an outer space hidden song. It's very interesting. I think artistically, I really respect what Pharrell's doing here with this. The song "Know Who You Are," I think this has a reggae feel to it, and Alicia Keys is on here, and I just think she does a great job with this song. So I mean, so far you've got like Daft Punk, violin, chord progression, then with some African singing with Lost Queen, ocean waves, hidden song, and then he hits you with some reggae, Alicia Keys vocals, and then finally he brings it home with It Girl. With It Girl, yeah. With that, I think like Justin Timberlake kind of has. After you've said it now, I definitely see how Justin Timberlake ties into, how you would think that Justin Timberlake could be on a lot of these songs, because JT's got a good voice. So I mean,
you know what? I think one thing that reminded me of it a lot, and I didn't mean to do this, but I was listening to this record, and like almost immediately after listening to this record, it might not have been immediately, but right around then, I jumped over to actually listening to some Justin Timberlake, and I was like, wait a second. So I went back, and it was just like, you can definitely hear, especially in a lot of his singles. Yeah.
What did you listen to Justin's 2020 experience or
Yeah,
older?
well, all of them. Mainly, actually, I don't think I listened to anything on the Future Six Love Sounds, but I listened to. It was like a mixture of 2020 experience to the song "Senorita," which I'm pretty
Mm.
sure Pharrell is even featured on that song. But that song just has a very that's one thing that I've noticed about Pharrell's actual his music is that he has these beats do are original. I'm not claiming that he's not original at all,
Yeah.
but one thing he uses a lot of multi instrumentation and stuff, which is cool. I think
Hmm.
that's great. Um, but yeah, that vibe that he creates on Justin Timberlake's albums is just it's just repeated one song after another on
Oh,
his album.
and I mean Justin Timberlake's 2020 experience, the first half that he released, I just think that's phenomenal. And he will slow it down with a ballad, and
Mm-hmm.
he's there lyrically. I mean, like lyrically, he's creating an experience, more of an album feel to it. So I mean, yeah, yeah, I could see how you would compare there, but I don't think it's necessarily fair because I think you came into this album thinking like Pharrell the rapper, but Pharrell is really a composer. He's more of an
Yeah,
R&B artist. He's more of a singer rather than a rapper.
right.
He's complimentary. He's a great complimentary artist. He's a great at bringing out the best in other artists. Um, but last song on here, "It Girl." I think he throws in a beautiful cowbell interlude. Some Will Ferrell. Need a little more cowbell. Love that. I wrote for this song. You have to listen all the way through to appreciate what Pharrell throws at you because you just don't know. Like you said, he's got a big bag of tricks. You don't know what he's gonna throw at you, and I think that's true overall too. With this, I mean, if you like the song Happy, here's the thing. If you like the song Happy, then I think you'll like every other song on this album as well. Because every song is similar, it has that feel to it. But he is throwing a different arsenal at you all the time. He's got his bag of tricks. He is going to throw that at you. So if you like the hit single Happy, if you really dig that song, if it makes you feel good, then I think you're going to like most of the other songs on this album too. It's not like another album where you're just like, I like the singles, but I'm not going to listen to the rest. This, it very much, I think he nails it overall for, creating happy, pun intended, fun songs.
Yeah, I think one thing just to point out too, I think it was definitely just the Justified album, I guess that made me really reminded me of the whole Justin Timberlake thing because in fact he Pharrell produced 7 of the 13 tracks on that record, over half of the record. So
Yeah. And, yeah, like the Wikipedia page, he did take away even an award with that, with
yeah,
his work with Justin Timberlake. So, I mean, overall, I give this album a B. I give it a solid B. I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I appreciate the diversity with it. Um, Jay says it's a bag of tricks. He does have a bag of tricks. I say use that bag of tricks. I say use it, and I just loved it. Yeah, our first disagreement.
no,
We got our
that's
first.
second,
Yeah,
Jay-Z.
yeah, the Jay Z. Yeah. So, and ironically enough, they've collaborated a lot together. So, well, we forgot to do this in the last one, but you want to get into our picks for next week?
Yeah, what do you got for me?
For you, I was struggling. I was
We
struggling with.
both we both struggled this
We
week.
did, yeah, yeah, we did both struggle this week. Um, I've decided to do, since we're on the theme of producing, I've decided to select for you Eminem's The Marshall Mathers LP 2.
Yeah, I have this record. I own it.
So, I read about this album a while back, pretty heavily in Rolling Stone. Rick Rubin is just an amazing producer. The guy's worked with Johnny Cash, the Beastie Boys, and he's
Metallica.
just all Metallica. He's all over this album. And lyrically, oh my gosh, lyrically Eminem's amazing. I haven't listened to all of the songs on here myself, but my gosh, it's yeah. So that's why I picked this one.
Good call. Yeah, I'm excited to listen to it again.
And hopefully you like it a little better than Pharrell. Have you listened to this album before, Jay?
I own it. I own this album.
Oh wow!
I actually own it. Yeah, own it. Yeah.
Another Drake reference.
I own this album. Yeah, I've listened to it many times.
All right. Well, what's in store for me?
Switching it up a little bit. I'm hoping my assessment of this band is correct. It's a band that I feel personally has flown unjustifiably under the radar a little bit. Mm-hmm. They're a band called Codaline. They're from Ireland.
Like CODA? Separate word?
KODALI. No, KODALINE.
Okay.
They're a pop rock band, kind of along the lines of some of the mid 2000s, mid to late early 2000s pop rock bands like The Fray and who else can I throw in that? One Republic type of bands.
Oh, okay.
I feel like they got a little bit brushed over. I don't want to give you too much of an insight or make you think too.
Yeah, because I've never heard of this band. I don't know.
A lot of people haven't. A lot of people haven't heard of this band. A lot of people haven't given this band the respect that I think they deserves. In fact, a lot of reviewers out there, a lot of publications have actually not really spoken too kindly of this band in the past. But I picked up on them a little bit randomly, and I'm hoping that you'll listen to it and check it out and give it an honest opinion. So,
Codaline. Hey, yeah. Well,
the album, by the way, is called "In a Perfect World."
In a Perfect World. Hey, yeah. I'm excited to listen to it. Cool. I've always been excited about listening to new music.
Yeah.
And I hope we can have a good, intelligent conversation about Eminem as well.
Yeah. How much time do we have left on this one?
We're right at time, actually.
Okay.
Perfect timing.
Good.
So, yeah, thanks, guys, for listening in the galaxy / watching / podcasting / any of and all of that good stuff. We'll catch you later on.
Yeah, stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to iTunes. Check us out on YouTube and all that stuff. Yeah, take care. Bye, Michael.
Yep, see you, Jake.